right. Go ahead and start this stream off. I'm always getting this error that I have poor stream status. I don't know why. Check this out. Settings. Stream output. Max performance. Wonder if I don't know. Stream health. Stream health is poor. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Maybe I'll up the bitrate and see if that does anything. I always thought that lowering the bitrate would help, but let's try this. All right, we'll see if that does anything. I'll check back on that in a little bit. And yeah, okay. All right, so today I'm going to be looking at playing around with some projection mapping stuff. And basically we've added some new projection mapping features in here so that it's pretty quick and simple to get a really quick and actually pretty accurate looking projection mapping, or just projection in general. So previously we just had the ability to drag out a projector, but it was more just a prop. And then you would drag out your projection screens and change the size of them, and then change the images on them to whatever you wanted. And you could change the intensity and the kind of brightness of the screen as well. But with the projector, the new projector that we have here, it's this first one here, projector with light. You can see if we pull this guy out here, we can do a bunch of different things with it. So on the right side here, we have projection settings. And let me pull this a little closer so I'm not too quiet. So we have projection settings here. Oh, let me see. Looks like my bitrate is not helping anything, so let me lower the bitrate again. Say like 3500. I haven't quite figured out how to make the stream quality great yet. So I'm still playing around with that. I think I just need to update OBS. Maybe that will help because I have an old version. All right, so anyways, so let me take that image off, and if I adjust the screen light spill right here, it will basically make the projection screen like black so that it doesn't really show anything, or more lighter. So if I put it to here, it'll show the image there. All right, but anyway, so I have these projection settings right here. And you can do things like make the image smaller or larger. So if I wanted to back the projector way back here, it has to do directly with actual light. So the further back you go, the darker it's going to be. So if I up the brightness a bunch, and actually I think I need to change a different setting. Let me see here. Yeah, there's a setting that I need to change, which will make it so you can bring the projector back even further. But anyways, so I can bring the projector back. Let's put it right here, down the brightness a bit, and then just scale it to a bit smaller. And then I'm going to zoom in on this projector here so I can get a better look at it. And I'll change my snapping to 0 so that it sits here. And so from here, I can go ahead and change the width and height. So you can change the ratio of the image, and you can also keystone it. So let's start playing around with some different things. So if I were to have the projector, I'll put it on a projection stand. So if I go into here and go to screens, I have this projection stand right here. And I'm just going to just ungroup it, and I'll take the projector off of here. And then I'll put this projector on to the stand here. Make sure it's kind of sitting nicely on it. And that's good enough for me. And then I'm going to just group this all so it's easier to move around. So I'll just take group items. Okay, so now you can see that the image is too high here. So for now, we're looking at adding stuff to this projection feature. It definitely has a lot to it, but we're looking to add more to it. And for some reason this didn't group. Oh, you know what? That's not going to group, is it? I don't think it will. Okay. Anyways. So what I can do is eventually I'll be able to shift the image down, but a lot of times with projectors you still do need to angle them depending on your if you don't have enough sort of lens shift, right? So if you're rigging the projector, you might need to angle it a bit and whatnot. And let's just say I had a harsher angle. So let's say my projector was way up here and I had to angle it down quite a bit. Then you'll see that the image needs to be keystoned. So I'm gonna adjust it to here so you can see the angle better, so you can see how it's keystoning. And so you just have these keystone options here. So one is the left and right side, and if I set it to 0, it'll do nothing. And then the other is the top and bottom here. So I'm gonna make it square like that, and then I'm just gonna increase the size a bit. Maybe adjust the size a little bit more. Cool. And if you really wanted to play with the edges and stuff to make it fit perfectly, you can adjust the size right here with the width and height. Cool. So that's obviously, if you're doing if you want to do a quick projection setup, I would just drag out the projector and add an image to the, an image to the fast fold screen, because that's definitely a quicker way to go. But if there's some reason that you want to show, the projector like this, then you can definitely do this. So you can adjust the brightness and things from the projector there. And then you can do, so a lot more versatility comes when you want to project onto something that's like not a screen. So, so maybe some, what do I want to say, some scenery and stuff, right? So I'm going to go ahead and I'll move this guy over here, duplicate this guy, and I'll do some scenery here. Actually, I think I'm going to move this stuff over here, or I'll just delete that for now, put this in the middle, and then we'll add some scenery and kind of project onto it. So let me throw some rigging up here real quick too, just to make it look like we're rigging something. So throw this at like maybe 20 feet. Add this, make this a little closer, and we'll say that our projector is hanging here at the top. And eventually we'll add some caging and stuff to options so that it looks like your projector can hang. All right, and so now if we add some scenery, we can start playing with projecting onto some different objects and seeing what we can do there. So I'm going to go over to the scenery tab here, and let's find something we can project against. I'll just do I'll do like a flat wall for now, and then after this we'll do some like different shapes and kind of cooler things. So I guess again with this, you can see if you had your rigging this close to the scenery, so you can see there's some rig points right here in this ballroom. This is this is at the Omni Nashville Broadway Ballroom, and this is a venue that you can find in the venue models here. But anyways, if your projector was this close or had to be this close for some reason, you could probably bring it back to here, right? But let's just say that you had to put it right there. You can go ahead and rotate the angle of the projector down quite a bit, and then you get some keystoning, and so from there you're just going to keystone it with the keystone option here. And then you can increase the size, and let's say that we have like a wide wall of scenery, and we can just kind of play with things. I don't have any specific agenda with this. I just want to play with things and see what we can do and make things look like. So let's do like a 50-foot wide wall, maybe make it like 18 feet high, so this is just a huge wall of light. And I imagine this, this would be like a super wide angle lens. I don't know exactly how this would look. It might look too dim, and then you'd have to do like 2 projectors, which you could do as well, and I can show you how to do that too in a second here. But let's adjust the keystone and then widen the image. Actually, let's do, so it was 50 by 18, so I'll actually just set my image to be the size. So if you were actually projection mapping this, you would want, and you were mapping to the whole wall, you would want your content, your video, or whatever you're projecting to basically be that same size, right? So it'd be like a 50 by 18 ratio. So I just put that into the ratio here, and that makes it the correct size. And so from here, I'm going to get it as wide as this, and then I'm going to adjust the keystone again, just a little bit more, and that's pretty close. All right, and then one cool thing you can do, and I'll show you like in a second example after this, but if you were to select the scenery and stuff that you want to map onto, and then you hold shift and select the projector that you want to map to, you'll get this little button here that says projection map, and it just says set. And if you click this button, what's going to happen is the projector is only going to hit the elements that you selected. So that's really nice, because then it sort of eliminates anything else in the scene. So when you normally projection map, you have to cut out all these different holes and different things in the actual content, or you have to use some software to do all that stuff. But with this is a much quicker way, so you can just select exactly the things that you want to project onto, and then boom, it just like isolates those things. All right, so that's kind of a quick example. I can show you let me see. Let's say we cut out some spaces here, like let's say we had a section of this wall. Let me turn this down a little bit. Let's say that we had a section of this wall, like up here, that we wanted to, is that the middle? I think that's the middle. That we wanted to change to like a sign or something. So let's say if I were to, could just delete it. Let's just delete it, and what I'll do is just throw a basic shape in here. There's other ways to do this, but I'm just kind of doing this real quick. I think this would be like, well, let's just do it this way. So I'll make this like white and move it into here. I'm gonna go to my front view, and I'm just gonna scale this real quick to make it real quick. Yeah, that's probably close enough for now. And I'm just going to add an image to it, so it'll say that this is like a logo. I think I could maybe add, let me see if I add that on there. Yeah, it's not going to look good because it's a PNG. But I'll just do this for now. Stretch this. Okay, we'll just say that that's our logo in the middle. And so what we want to do in this scenario is like project on all of the scenery, but not project onto the sign in the middle, right? So previously you wouldn't have really been able to do that, or it would have just been like a large workaround to do that. So what I'm going to do, first I want to just change the brightness of this a bit. All right, so you can see how the projection is hitting that and it's washing it out and everything. All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this wall that we just selected. All of these tiles will select at once because they're in a group. So you can see that they're in a group because they're all selected, and this green button over here says ungroup items. But I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to hold shift and select the projector here. And then where it says projection map, I'm going to hit set. And just like that, you can see it just you can see now that the sign in the middle is not being projected on. And it's actually, so now the projector is only hitting the scenery. So if I were to like move this all the way over, you can see that it doesn't hit the ceiling. It's only projecting onto the scenery here. So now this is really cool because you can basically just hit this. You don't have to worry about adjusting anything else, and you can put whatever content you want on the projector too. So I don't think I have any good content to throw on here, but let me just see. Let me turn the brightness in the room down. Okay. So you can see, obviously, if you go too high, it's going to blow it out, just like a normal light would. Obviously, projection is a little finicky in that way. But yeah, so that's kind of one way to do that. I'm going to smooth this down a little. I wish I had a better, maybe this one will work better. Or maybe not. I don't have any good content to throw on here right now, but so you can kind of see too, the projector is so close that it gives this, it's a little bit bright on the top, but it's also, the graphic is really bright on the top. I'm gonna try this one. There you go. So this is a little more even. But yeah, you can play then around with, let's say we moved the rig further back to like here. And then I'm going to change the size of this a bit. And then the angle up. And now my keystone is way different, so just the keystone. And one thing that's obviously really cool about projection mapping too is that wherever you have black in your content, basically it shows up as nothing, right? So in this example you see here, the black kind of just shows up like there's nothing there. So that's definitely nice. In reality, if this was like a sign, we would want a separate light to be hitting it. So maybe if I were to real quick do, I'll do some lights right here. Boost the room light. And then I'll move these back up here. And let's do a quick and dirty couple of lights on the sign there. Move this up. So we'll say this is like the stage light. And then I'll do a couple lights hitting the sign there. So if I unlock this group, I'm going to just for now turn these lights down, and then I'm going to aim these two lights so that they hit the sign here. Might need more than two. I'd probably do like 3. And you'd also, in reality, be able to shutter this off. We're working on adding a shutter feature in here, but we don't have that quite ready yet. But you would want to shutter these off so that they fit better. Anyways, this is a pretty poor example, but hopefully you get what I'm trying to do here. I think the problem with this is that I used the wrong object here. Let me, real quick, I'm just going to replace this with, let's do, actually, let's see. I can do, if I add a, in scenery here, if I go to walls, this one's a pretty good, this printed flat is a good way, is a good option to like print onto a flat white thing. So I think this thing is like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's probably like 18 feet wide, I think. Oh, let me see. Let's just place this. 18 feet by 4 feet. I think this is overlapping a bit. Let me just move it back. All right, so let me get rid of this guy. And if I throw on my logo again, just need a better logo to throw on there. Yeah, I don't have any great. I could upload one real quick. Yeah, let me upload a logo real quick so this doesn't look terrible. And I want I think this one will work. Okay, let's try this one. Add image. All right, that looks a lot better. Okay, so now I'm just gonna throw this into this spot right here. And I might need to scale it just a little bit. Cool, okay. All right, cool, I'm a little happier with that now. And then we can adjust these lights again. And yeah, I would want to shutter these off better if I could. But we'll just leave it as that for now. So I'll go back to my projector now and kind of play with these settings. I'm going to increase this intensity a bit. And again, you can play with the size. And you could even add like 2 projectors. So what I could do is throw in a second projector or just duplicate this one basically, and then do 2 images back to back kind of here. Would be one option. Let me see, let me throw some different content on here. I just really don't like any of this content that I have. I want like a wide angle graphic. Yeah, let me get I think I maybe have something I could throw on here. And then another thing too is that if you throw on the haze, the haze button here, you can see the actual what would you call it? The I can't think of the word right now. rays, if you will, of the projector. So that's kind of cool. If you're ever playing with this, adding the haze does increase the amount of frame rate that is needed. So it's just something to play with towards the end if you if you want. But yeah, let me try to find a better piece of content real quick that I can throw onto here. So I'm going to look for something else I can throw on real quick. It looks like there's a couple people that are hanging out watching, so it's awesome to see you watching. If you have any questions or anything is confusing, definitely let me know, because we're basically just almost finished with this projection feature, which will then be live next week. So if there's anything else that you're wondering about, let me know. And yeah, so right now the settings to it are intensity. You can change the size, you can change the width and height of the image, so the ratio. You can change the keystoning. So there's quite a lot of options there. And then, like I showed before, you can, if you click on your scenery and then shift click the projector that you want to map to, you just hit set, and that will map the projection onto the scenery objects. Otherwise, if you do not want to map onto anything specific, then you could just drag out your projector and it'll basically hit anything that you want it to hit, like this. Oops, undo that. Cool. All right, let me go look for some better content here. I'm gonna adjust this real quick because I'm the king of distraction. I'll make this like a cooler white. Let's save that. All right. All right, I'm looking for some better content. Is everyone having a good day so far? You can type 1 in the chat if you're having a fantastic day. If you're not having a fantastic day, I really hope your day gets better, though, because it is Friday. All right. Let's see if I can find some content. If you want to know about like video, because obviously a lot of times projection mapping involves video, like animations and stuff like that, or just in general, just video content. We're definitely wanting to add that in eventually. There are just some caveats with it because video files will need to have access to them sort of in cloud storage. So basically, right now when you upload images to use for your content, they're a little bit easier to store and retrieve because they're smaller. The video files can obviously be much bigger, so we'd have to kind of create a slightly new system for that. So that will come eventually. But for now, you can definitely just use static images like this to hopefully do the job. I actually haven't tried it with a GIF yet. I don't think a GIF would work, but you can always test it out. All right, I want to try to find like some sort of wide, almost like 3:1 or just a wide animation or a graphic or something that I could use that would look cooler. Go to the old Google and type in wide abstract graphic. Wide abstract graphic, where are you? This one's kind of cool, a little techy. Here's what I'm looking at. Wide abstract tech graphic. I don't know. We'll just use this for now because it kind of fills the space. I'm going to open image in new tab, and it looks like this is pretty low res, but and it's not the right type of file. So maybe we find something else. I don't want it to be wider than that, but it's also kind of low res. Spend this whole stream looking for an image. I'll just use this. Okay. All right, so I finally got a new image in here. So all right, so the image is right here now. Let's delete this. So I just want to play with this image because I think hopefully it's a little better. Looks like maybe not. All right, so this image was like much wider. And the only thing is it's dark on the left side, which isn't going to look good. And nothing, I can't find any decent stuff right now. If you guys know of any good wide graphic options, let me know. All right, what I'm going to do instead is just take this just has too many words on it. I just can't win. I don't really want to do a gradient one because that's going to, again, look too like bright in certain areas. What would be cool is to have so something like this image here, you know, where you have the darker stuff is nice because then it basically just like how projection mapping kind of works is when you have black, it just doesn't show up, and so it can make it look like things are kind of moving around on the scenery and stuff. So let me see real quick if I can maybe find something. It's black in it. This one might work. Yeah, so I'm looking for like a graphic that has like some bright kind of images of something in it, and then some really like basically black, so that the light stuff will sort of shine through, and then the black will just not show up at all. I think I was talking about to someone once that I did this onto a cake one time. We shined like a really bright, I think 20K projector onto a like 5-tier white cake, and we were able to kind of map it so that each layer of the cake or each tier had different stuff going on it. At one point there were like silhouettes of people walking around on each layer or each tier of the cake. And it wasn't too hard to do. Basically, you kind of get animations of people walking, and then you want them to be either light or dark. And then basically, if let's say the silhouettes are light, then you would black out what's behind them and it would just look like the white silhouettes are walking around, or you'd do the opposite. And I just cannot find any good graphics. I guess I'll do this one here for now. Okay. Let's see, save image. Or let me do this. All right, save that and load it up. Obviously, this stuff you could spend years on. You know, right now I'm just trying to find a good graphic, and that's one thing too with projection mapping, and I think a lot of LED stuff as well, is that so much of it relies on the content, the graphics that you use. So if you're ever like trying to show someone else a rendering, and it heavily relies on projection mapping, then basically most of what they're looking at is going to be the actual graphics from the projection. So anyways, all right, I'll definitely make something cooler here after this, but I just wanted to play around with this real quick. So again, we have this kind of projection hitting this wall here, and I'm going to play with where's our projector? There it is. Just going to play with the image a little bit. So right now it's too wide, so I'm going to, so you can see where it's black. It's not completely black here. So there's a little bit of blue shining through there. It's just in the graphic. But if it was actually black, it should show up to be black, so you wouldn't be able to see anything. And once I make it the size of this, it should show up better. So if I make this taller, a bit wider, increase the size. So now it's looking better. So again, what I did here too is, again, this is kind of what I did earlier to make this sort of map to this whole thing. So this obviously is pretty basic. It's just a one large wall, but I mapped it so that the projector is excluding this sign right here in the middle, right? So any graphic that shines onto this wall will not hit this sign here. So you can see, and also I mapped it to the wall, so it's not hitting the wall above either. And then let me increase the size a bit so it's a little larger. And the way I did that is I just selected the wall and then held Shift, selected the projector, and then I hit, when it says projection map here, you hit set, and that will basically isolate the image or the projection to only hit the objects that you selected. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to change the scenery to be something different. I can't remember what size that was, but let's say we did let's see, we did, let me add the logo back to here real quick. Put that back in our spot, place that. Let's do like, could do it on some fabric. Let's just play around with some different shapes here. So I think just want to replace the wall here with like something different. I need to select this and set that, and then it'll show up. Move this back a little so our sign shows back up. I can just play with the shape. Or something flat. So those are just a bunch of flat tiles. These are some more like 3D-ish tiles. All right, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna like set up some just random shapes within the scene here. So let me increase the lighting of the room a little bit, and I'm just gonna kind of throw around some shapes here. And if I do this, I'm gonna make a new projector here, and I'll add that same image back to this one. And so we'll say on this one we have just some random shapes we're gonna do. I'm trying to think of doing something cool, but I haven't really like thought about this beforehand, so I'm just kind of playing around with some ideas here. So I think like one thing I could do, I could actually go into templates here, and there's a template in here. Well, obviously you could, let me turn this down. You'd add in any of these templates that has you know, a lot of flat stuff, and then project onto that like this. Which could be pretty cool. But then there's some other stuff we could do too, like there's one specific template I'm thinking of, like this one that has these shapes. So if you wanted to project just onto these shapes, you could again just select these specific shapes right here, and then select, let me turn this one, if I selected this projector, so now the projector's just hitting these two shapes here, right? And then you could, you know, you could do something like this, right, where you have 3 projectors. And let me focus my camera a bit better here. So you have 3 projectors, and let's say this one's projecting onto these. I'll actually delete this one now. And we'll say this projector's projecting onto these. And then I think my projector's like in my truss for some reason. Okay, so now we have both these projectors, and I'll throw on the graphic. So now we have this graphic on both of these. Make it a little bit larger. And because this graphic is kind of, you don't see it, so I'd have to move this over, but there we go. All right, so you can kind of see how you can quickly map the, you know, the 2 projectors there to our scenery here. And you can adjust the content or the brightness or whatever. So let me switch this content real quick. Again, I just don't have any really good content to play with, but hopefully you get the idea. If I were to adjust the lighting of the up and down lights here, I think this would be a little better looking. So let me group some of these lights. And we'll make this, I think, yeah, these lights right here are hitting our objects. So if we turn these down, you can see the graphic a little better there. And then if I were to adjust the color of these a little bit. And then if you want to go crazy and, you know, add projection to these, you could, but just a much faster way to get an image on there is to just select the fast fold screens and add, you know, images to them. And then you can adjust the intensity and the light spell if you want. Cool, so that's an example right there. That would be pretty cool to do. I need to rotate these guys a little. Down, there we go. All right, cool. I'm gonna do something different now, maybe with like a larger setup in general. So let's go ahead and what do I want to do? Let's play with like a larger wall kind of setup, and then we'll yeah, here's what I'll do. We'll do some like column sort of things. So there'll be like some vertical columns that we could project onto. So something like, we'll do a screen. All right, let's do, we're getting creative now. I'm going to dim this a bit. And we're gonna do like sort of 3-screen setup, I think. I have some inspiration I found from something recently, but we'll do like a 3-screen setup where I'm thinking there will be like truss uprights holding some screens, and then there will be scenery that are kind of covering the truss uprights on either side. So it'll be like 3 sort of enclosures, if you will. But you probably have no idea what I'm talking about until I do it. So let's just try playing with this. I need a big swig of coffee here. All right. So what I'm going to do is, I think, drag out a screen first. And I just want to do like a probably 16:9 screen, but maybe, and I guess I could do a projection screen, since we'll do this one with a border, and just want to make it fit this room a little bit. So make it fairly large. So this 24 by 13. All right. So we have our screen there. We're gonna end up doing 3, so I could just do that now. And I think 2 of them will be like angled sort of this way, but I'll play with that in a minute. Let me fix my camera. The camera randomly shuts off, and I haven't gone into the settings to figure that out because there's like a million settings. Okay. Just throw something on these screens real quick. And I'll just delete these. And I'm going to delete our projectors too for now. All right, so what I want to do is like create these enclosures around these screens here. So I'm going to do go to rigging here and type. I'm going to do some uprights. Basically, you can see them right here, and we'll set them like 30 feet. Yeah, maybe so something like this. So it'd be 25 feet. Let's see. Yeah, maybe something like this. I'm just playing with this. We'll see how it goes. And all right, looks like I need to restart real quick, so give me a second here. I'm running the application locally, and every now and then with the new features we're working on, things can close down, so every now and then something like that happens. So it'll just be a minute here, and then we'll load back up and continue. So basically the idea again is to create some truss upright like enclosures. So it'd be like 2 truss uprights holding a screen, and then you'd have four legs actually, and a sort of box on top, and then basically from there this scenery will kind of enclose, or scenery would sort of cover some of the truss. We could either do scenery, we could do lighting, but I think since we're playing with projection mapping right now, we could probably do some projection mapping onto the truss upright and everything, and that way, like if you were to be showing content on your screens, then let's say when you transitioned, or for an intro or for breaks and whatnot, you could play animations on that on the scenery rather than just doing lighting. Obviously, if you did lighting, you could connect all the lights to the truss uprights and do some animation and lighting stuff there as well. But projection can be a little more versatile with throwing animations and different moving stuff on there. All right. So any second now we'll be ready to go. I have to load up this specific version because the projection mapping is not live on the live application yet. So just wait for it to load. All right, looks like we're about ready again. Okay, so I think I was adding in some truss uprights here. So we'll do truss uprights here. Maybe it was like 20, 25 feet apart. And then from here, I'll add a top piece to that, like this. So definitely a little too high, though. So I think I want it to be, well, let's see. If I add a stage and some people on it, I probably want our screen to be like right here. Say we can rear project, unless it's LED, then it doesn't matter. So let's do that, and then if I go to here, I can unlock this group and just change the size of these truss pieces here. Okay. I'll adjust these to 1 foot. All right, we'll say something like this for now. You might honestly, well, we could either hang the screen a little lower, or move the stage higher too, so that we're not cutting off half his body. But you also don't want these side screens to be too low either, so maybe something like that would be fine. All right, so anyways, these truss then will be like covered with some scenery, just some basic scenery, I think, like some white scenery, which will then project onto. And then this, I'm going to just create like a box. I can't decide though. I don't know if we need to make it. I don't. Well, yeah. Actually, let's do it. Let's try it as a full, like square. So I want to. Just move this out of the way for now. You know, I can group some of this stuff. Let me just unlock this group here. All right. So yeah, we'll play with this. It might be too much because that's going to cover things. I don't want this. Yeah, so maybe we do just a shorter space here. Something like this, I guess. And then, so I'm trying to create like some depth here, but still have this be kind of in the background. Anyways, we'll play with it, see, maybe it won't work, but we'll see what happens. I think the stage maybe a little longer. Throw on some lighting real quick here. Let's do a stage wash. This is kind of nice because now the stage is pretty far forward from the screen, so it's not going to wash out the screen. Go up here. All right, let's leave that there for now. Okay, so rigging, I'm gonna make sure that's placed. And then let's add like something around this truss here. So you could also just kind of skip all of the adding the truss. If you wanted to just, like, say you were gonna put, black covers around all of the truss. So instead of doing this, you could just use a basic cube here, set it to like 1 by 1 by 10, and then, just create your shapes that way, which could save you a little bit of time. So yeah, because what I'm thinking is that how we would do this is that we would have covers on this, and like the fronts of these would be white. So I'm actually gonna like duplicate this and make this thing white. And for some reason it's like behind my thing here, so So if the front of these were white, like again, some type of scenery, you could use just some basic PVC or even foam core or something to do that. So I was just thinking about this. This would work for the fronts, but it won't work for the back, because I was thinking that we could do projection onto this and then also projection onto these rear uprights too, but that won't work because sorry, one sec. Because the projection wouldn't be able to hit back there, basically, right? I'm just gonna widen this out a tad. So it covers the truss. Okay, now I'm gonna duplicate. Let me duplicate these two. Rotate it. Move it up here. And then stretch them out a bit. Oops. Make sure this is aligned there. It's pretty close. All right, so we got something like that. Again, just covering the truss here and then adding some white type of scenery in front of it. And so for the back of this, you could cover that all in black, and maybe we just don't project onto the back. That could look pretty good too. So let's play with that real quick. Just going to cover these truss pieces too real quick. It's definitely nice to find some inspiration before you do something like this. Like this idea in general, like I saw something from a recent event. It wasn't this exact look, but it was similar. And I'm trying, not to copy it exactly, but it's definitely nice to just see something so you know that something might look right. And basically what I liked about it was that there was a lot of contrast within it and shape. So like if I zoom out a little bit here, you'll see that kind of what we're going for is these specific shapes will stand out really well, and there's contrast between everything. So your eye will be drawn to the sort of outlines as well as the screens, but then between that we have separation. So it's like nice shape, contrasts, black and white, and then another shape, and it looked pretty nice. So, and it's a doable setup for probably most venues and most spaces. I mean, you could even do it outdoors because you don't really have to hang anything with this ground supported situation here. All right, so from here I pretty much just copy these, I think. Let me throw on a backdrop here real quick. Place the rigging. Just throw a backdrop. We'll do like 120. Yeah, I'd almost like these. Let's just move these panels back just real quick to see what that looks like, but just don't think it's going to work because you can't really project onto those. So in that case, these would like look better if they were lighting. So because you could do like let me move this over real quick. You could throw in like if I go to lighting and then one of these 4-foot lights here, you know, you could throw a bunch of these guys. Where did my light go? Up the truss like this. We'll add it in for now, and then we could always remove it. If you wanted a straight line without the breaks between the lights, you could do that as well, but you would probably need some type of like translucent material to go over it so you didn't see the lights behind it. If I just stretch this, yeah, it does that. Oh, not this light, this one. So I believe this light has, doesn't have any like LED sort of circles on the texture. So if you did want to sort of stretch this one out, I think this will work. Let me try it. Obviously that's super stretched, but if everything's dark around it, you shouldn't be able to see. Much, so it would just look like a light bar there. So anyways, this is a quick way to kind of get a solid light there if you wanted to do something like that. I'll just leave this here for now. I don't know if we'll keep this, but again, because we can't project onto those back areas. So, and then let's do, should we do one on top? Let's try it. Always try, never leave anything to the unknown. See, this in about the right spot, I think. I don't know if I love that because it doesn't connect like this does, but I guess you could hang it below like this. So it'd kind of hang below the truss. And that might be as good as it gets for that. All right, well, that's better than it being separate, but all right, so we'll leave that there for now. Again, we might change that, but this is kind of cool because then you got like this slight change in height. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, like if this was even wider, that would be cool because then it would go in. So let me try that real quick, actually. So if this was a little bit further out, like this, and then this just stretched a bit further, you'd get this kind of cool I don't know what to call it, larger to smaller setup. All right, cool, we'll leave that there for now. So that's that. We have our little cool structure here. And now I'm just gonna duplicate this whole thing. Probably actually delete this guy. I'm going to select this whole thing and duplicate it and move it over. And I do want to rotate it a bit. So we'll say like 10 degrees. I can always adjust that. Maybe a little more rotation. Like 20 degrees. And then this would probably want to move back a little bit. Maybe in. And honestly, I would probably only do this setup if we had the room to be more of this sort of setup. With the possibility you want the room to be wider, but anyways, this is just a idea. So move this straight back a bit. And I'll move this whole guy in a little bit more again. Oops, hit my wrong key. Okay, rotate it 20 degrees, so 20 degrees, and then move it back a bit. And into about here. And save that, and look at this again, pretty cool looking. All right, so now let's add some projectors. to hit the scenery here. So I'll do, you know what, I didn't even think about if these are the right scenery panels, but we'll see. Okay, so we add in our projector. All right, so you can see we are hitting, let me turn on my camera again. Randomly shuts off on me. I feel like I'm gonna play some, so apparently on YouTube live stream, you can only play YouTube library music. So I just found the library of music, and it's all pretty, you know, generic stuff, sort of stuff, but not terrible. But I was listening to some of it earlier, and it had like a lot of like ambient stuff. So I feel like that would fit with what we're doing right now. So I'm gonna play that in the background. So this one's called Dreamscape. Let me know if it's too loud in the stream. All right. Okay, so hey, thanks, Patrick. This I was saying earlier. This is kind of some inspiration I got from some another thing I saw. But yeah, it's just playing around with it, literally just trying different things. So I think it's turning out pretty cool. Pretty not a very difficult set either. So again, the way that we set this up is there are truss, you can see underneath the scenery that I put over it, or black pieces. It's basically just a truss box, or I don't know what you call this, truss arch kind of thing. And then we have white scenery in front of the truss, and then we have actual LED lights that are on the back part of the truss there, because we wouldn't be able to projection map onto the back, so we're just projection mapping on the front. But anyways, still playing with it. So all right, so let me see if I can isolate this projection. So if I scale this down, so right now obviously the projection is hitting everything. So I'd want it to just hit this, and then we'll hit these with other projectors. So let me know again if this music's too loud. I can turn it down on the stream. Yeah, okay, so that's what I thought. So we just have been working on this projection mapping feature, and some of the scenery panels will not work unless there's a specific type of scenery. So this that I ended up using is not a scenery panel. So let me just go over here, back to scenery, and I'm going to make sure that the scenery that I got works. So let me go to walls here, and we'll do actually I'll go into decor, and I'm just going to drag in a 1 by 6 foot piece here. And I'm just going to stretch it to make sure it fits correctly. Where'd our music go? Oh, here we go. All right, so we got this scenery panel here. And I think that this will work. Let me just make sure to test it out. So if I select it and then hold shift and select the projector, I should see this projection map button here, and then I can set it. So that does work. So I'm just going to make sure that I scale it up correctly now. Music's a little much, but we'll just stick with it until someone says please stop it. We're just gonna go with it, you know. Okay, so now I'm gonna just remove these ones. And just duplicate these ones. So again, these ones, the ones we want that will work with our projection mapping. And so I have these panels sitting a bit outside of the truss arch here because I want it to look like it's going wide to inside, so hopefully that makes sense. So the LED in here is like smaller. All right, anyways, let's rotate this guy. And let's change the audio music to this one. Tron vibes with the music, and so yeah, I know. Trying to get that inspiration flowing, you know. Sometimes it's a little bit much though. I can only take so much Tron vibes. Alright, I'm not sure exactly how wide we need this. Close, I just need to move it a little bit. You can go into my front view and probably see it better, so if I were to adjust this, it's very close. Go back here. Just needs to be a tiny bit smaller. Alright, that's pretty close. Okay, so now what I can do is select the 3 pieces of scenery there that I would have. So again, I just went into this Expressive Structures. They have a bunch of just white panels that you can use, so that's basically what I did. So I'll select those guys, and then I'll select our projector, which is right here. And you should see, if you do it correctly, this button that says Projection Map. So I'm going to click that guy. And when I do, now the projection is only hitting those scenery panels. Alright, so I'm going to select my projector again, and from here I can adjust I'm gonna change the music again, so a little too much for me. All right, so from here I can adjust the keystone to be better, increase the size a bit. I think that's pretty close. And then I'll rotate this guy up. To there. All right. So now you could obviously add any image to that. So what would I want to do? Yeah, this is just not a great graphic to have, but you can see how it could go there. I probably want something different though, like, I don't know, this is all right for now, I guess. All right, so we're gonna do the same thing on these guys now. And I might just copy over the whole thing again, because that'll probably be a little quicker. So I'll just go in and delete these. And then rotate them. I think I had rotated them 20 degrees. Something like this. I'll do the same thing over here. Let me just make sure that that looked right. Yeah, it did. Okay. And delete this and do the same thing. Move my stage out of the way for a minute. I think it should be about right here. We can always adjust a little bit if we need to. All right, this is the fun part again. We get to add a new projector over here. And I'm gonna go to the top view, rotate it 20 degrees again, so it's facing directly that way. And let's see what we got here. So let's move it over a tad, and the size is about right. I don't know if the looks like it's let me change this. It looks like it's too high. Let me do this. I'm going to move it back to here, rotate it, or yeah, move it down. To like there, and then rotate it again. That's pretty close. Adjust the size a bit. And then I'm going to select these guys and do the same thing I did before, where I select the projector and hit projection map. And then I'm going to change that content to be this one. Cool, cool, cool. All right. We'll do the same thing over here. I'll duplicate this. Turn it 20 degrees. and it should hit that pretty good. So we'll just move it over a bit. Like here. And I'll select the panels again and set them to projection map. Cool, now I'm gonna adjust the image again. I still want like better content for the, or graphics for the projectors here, but it's not too terrible. So you can adjust the brightness, adjust the image size of all of them. I think this size needs to be a little bit smaller because it's, in the end, it's a little bit closer. But yeah, so that's kind of the sort of idea I was going for. Let's throw some, at this point you could throw some more lighting in maybe. Maybe we add some light to the truss here at the top, so I'll go ahead and just place our lighting that we have there, and then I'll throw in some movers. So it's hard to see, you can always go up to here and turn on this grid so you can see what we have here. So I just added these 3 movers in, and I think we could throw them. So I think I'll delete this one. And we could either shoot these at the stage area or back at the audience. Probably don't want to do too much moving of your lights with a bunch of projectors there, because that will move the projection, but if you keep them static, then it's not a big deal, right? Let's turn this intensity up. And I'll do the same with this one. Yeah, and maybe we add 2 more that face outwards. So let's turn this guy outward. And I'll throw in maybe 1 more in the middle here. All right, I think I'm going to maybe try just a couple different things. Graphics on the projection and the screens, maybe just to see if we can change the look a bit. Maybe I'll throw in some seating too for now, just to populate the space a bit. Let's try one other thing. I don't know if this is gonna look good or not, but one thing you can do too is, I think, see here. Kind of want to like add a light to the stage potentially. This isn't a great way to do this, but don't currently have an LED strip light right now, so just gonna make this light pretty wide, and then around it's pretty dark, so you can't really tell too much. Don't really know if I like that though. It kind of destroys the whole Yeah, I don't think I like that though. Let's remove that for now. I think you would want something on the stage just to outline it. Obviously such a dark stage. Let's see if I made it, and if you make it white, then it's just like this big rectangular blob sitting there. So I like that it's black, but you would probably need to see the outlines of where the edges of the stage is. So what was I gonna do? Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't really like that as much. Wooden top is actually kind of cool. But we'll stick with this for now. And then I'm just going to do really quick add in this and see if I change this to white and then I make it like small. $48. And I don't know why this doesn't get very white, but you could just add white to it, like with an image, and then illuminate it a bit. Let me see. Okay. Sometimes it's hard to get something to look like white if it's so dark in the room. our tech music go away. I don't know how long this was. All right, that's a little better. So now it looks like there's a, an outline of the stage, but I don't necessarily want it to like illuminate really. Honestly, I'd probably make the stage smaller too, like, see if I remove these. All right, we need our techie music back. Where did it go? It's a little better, I think. I kind of wanted the stage to not like overlap with these here, but anyways, not perfect, but we're just kind of playing. Make these like a dark blue or something. Okay, alright, I kind of do want to play with the graphics real quick. Let me find a different artist too. Alright, so what do I want to do here with the graphics? Just want to do something completely different. I'm going to set a couple camera views here real quick. Looks like I already have some camera views from another project, but I'll delete these. Let's do this camera view. Do a further back one. Actually, a lot of times I just like to center the camera by hitting 1 and then just going backward like this. Kind of give you a center view. Although I don't think my screens are super center. I think this screen is a little bit too far to the right. I could go measure that, but I'll just set this here for now. And then maybe I'll do a close-up one. We'll just do that for now, and let me measure this real quick. From here to here, it's negative 9.5 feet. From here to here. So it needs to move over by about a foot. Okay. And then I probably need to adjust the projector right here just a tad. Or I probably just need to move it over. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, good enough for now. I'll just look for some different graphics here. So let's see what we can find. This might not work actually. Oh, whatever, we'll try it. All right, I've got a couple images we can play with now. So let's see. All right, so this is super bright, but kind of cool and flashy. I'm gonna group these LED lights together so that we can just quickly change their color. So now I can adjust the color of these guys. Maybe make it like a yellow or orange or something. It's kind of cool. Okay. And then I can play with the front lights as well. I mean the movers. All right. So there we have it. We'll create some renderings. I think people are about off now, so we'll go ahead and stop the stream here. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it and got something out of it. And we'll see you next Friday. Thanks.